Hi class, this week we are going to be focusing on inferencing, okay? So if you look at the schedule that I've put, the lessons that we're going to be talking about will have a focus on inferencing. And today we're going to discuss what is inference. An inference is a guess based on clues and what you might already know about it, okay? So I'm going to show you how to make an inference. So making an inference requires evidence from the text. This is what you would find when you are reading. It also needs schema, and this is a word that we've used often in class. Schema is what you already know in order to make an inference. And I apologize, the T got erased from right there. So yes, we need text evidence. What is evidence from the text? We need our schema, what I already know about that subject, in order to make an in order to make an inference. So some common clues whenever we're making an inference would be some keywords to look for whenever we're making an inference would be I think, maybe, I predict, my guess is, probably. Okay, so those are some clue words to look for whenever we are making an inference. Okay, all right. So like I said, this week we are going to be focusing on inferencing, and if you are working along with me in your Star Ready instruction book, you are going to turn to page 28. This is the passage we are going to be doing today and tomorrow, and then Wednesday and Thursday we would start a different passage. Okay, so the passage we're working on today is called The Camping Trip, and before we start anything, we always begin with our unwrap. So I'm going to go ahead and write unwrap. Remember, this is something that you always just automatically do before you're beginning any passage. Underline the title, the camping trip. So make your prediction. What kind of a text do you think this is going to be? Is it nonfiction? Is it fiction? Is it poetry? Is it drama? Just by quickly skimming through it, I can tell there's characters, and it's probably going to tell me a story. So could be fiction. I'm going to make my prediction fiction. Okay? Now I need to number off my paragraphs. Now while looking at this text, I see that my paragraphs are pretty short. Some of them are just one line long. So I'm going to group them. Put 1, 2, 3 together, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay? So I went ahead and divided them up. Do I need to notice text features? Do I have any text features? I don't. Okay, so then I can move on. The next, I'm going to walk through my question. So move to the next page. Look at your questions. Since this passage focuses on making an inferencing, you're also going to see this word a lot, conclusion. Circle the word conclusion. Every time you see it, it means something, it means similar to inferencing. Okay, so let's look at question 1. Which details from the story support the conclusion, the inference, that James is impatient? So we're looking for details, story, support, conclusion, James is impatient. And what does impatient mean? Somebody that is not patient. It means he's like in a rush, in a hurry. Move on to the next question. The fact that Susan has a bright smile and is eagerly pointing to a camping spot up the hill helps the reader understand. So here we need to circle our keywords. Susan, bright smile, eagerly pointing, helps reader understand what? So here we are going to come up with our inference. And number 3, why was the dry riverbed not chosen as the place to put up the tent? So here, circle why, dry riverbed, not chosen, place, put up tent. So here again, we have to create our own inference. What do we know? What is the text evidence? Text evidence plus our schema in order to make our inference. Okay, so we walked through our questions. Now we need to read. I'm going to read one paragraph with you and help you do your summaries, and then I am going to answer question 1 with you. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. The camping trip. How much further did we have to walk to find a campsite? Whined James. I want to fish. Just hang in there, James, said Dad. We'll have time to fish. While we hike to the clearing, who can tell me some safety tips? I can, said Susan with a bright smile. Never leave the campfire unattended. Always drink plenty of clean water. Never approach wild animals. And always bring a first aid kit. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Who is this paragraph talking about? Who is our who? James. So here I'm going to write James. What is James doing? You need to go back and reread the paragraph. Go ahead and reread it. Okay, so what is he doing? He and his dad and Susan, so I'm going to infer that Susan is probably his sister, are going where? Camping. They're looking for a campsite. So I'm going to write that. Going camping. Okay? Now, let's keep reading the next paragraph. Excellent, exclaimed Dad. Can we pitch the tent down here? Susan asked. No, replied Dad. That's an arroyo, a dry riverbed. Dry riverbed? Cried James. How are we going to catch fish if the river has dried up? So, again, who's talking here? It's about James. What's going on? Well, he's asking, how are they going to catch fish in a dry riverbed? So he's wanting to know how catch fish, dry river bed. So in this campsite, what I've read so far, they're looking for a campsite. They come up to an arroyo, which is a dry riverbed, and what I can infer so far is that they want to go fishing because James keeps talking about fishing. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the next paragraph. James, said Dad, there's a lake over the hill. Why can't we put the tent down there? Asked Susan. There may be an unexpected downpour, answered Dad. A flash flood could come roaring through the dry riverbed. Wherever we're going to put the tent, let's decide soon. It weighs a ton, exclaimed James. I want to go fishing. So, as I'm making my inferencing, I can tell that James really wants to go fishing. So here, I'm going to put, it's about James. What's going on? He's telling Dad, we need to decide where are we going to set up our tent so that we can hurry up and go fishing. So he is in a hurry to go fishing. Okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to let you finish reading the last 2 paragraphs and do your summaries. Okay, so I know that I said I was going to answer this question with you, but I'm not going to answer it with you. I'm just going to walk you through it. I'm going to read the sentence, and I'm going to read our answer choices and kind of walk you through what would be your inference. So let's look at number 1. Which details from the story support the conclusion that James is impatient? And we already kind of saw a little bit about that in paragraph 8, because he is wanting to go fishing and he wants Dad to decide soon where they're going to set up their tent. So let's look at the answer choices. So we're looking for details that support that he is impatient. And remember, impatient means not patient. He's in a hurry. He wants it to happen now. So let's look at A. He whines and complains about having to wait to go fishing. It could be. Remember, that's what he wants to do, and he doesn't like waiting. Let's look at B. He does not remember any camping safety tips. Does that tell us anything about him being impatient? I don't think so. Let's look at C. He decides that he doesn't want to go fishing. But that doesn't make sense because he wants to go fishing. He's impatient to begin fishing. So I don't think C would be a good answer. Let's look at D. He is too tired to help carry the tent. Does that show us any details about him being impatient? So here is where you would find your supporting details that show you he is impatient. You would write them down here and then pick your answers. I already kind of walked you through them, kind of gave you my thoughts on them. I want you to read the answers to yourself and then see which one of these answers would support the idea that he is impatient. Okay? So you're going to do the rest of the questions. And then remember that on Friday, I am going to post our answers. So on Friday, I would post the answers for this passage and then the passage that follows, the Peacemaker Sarah. So for Peacemaker Sarah, you're going to do the same thing. Do your unwrap, separate your paragraphs, do your summaries, and then you would answer your choices. I am going to be posting the answer key on Friday. Okay? So this is our lesson on inferencing. I hope that you begin working on the passage today and you're able to see my video. If you have any questions, please message me on Dojo. Please do so as soon as you have the question. Don't wait, because then that way I can help you right away while you're doing the work. Okay? All right, guys. I hope you have a great week, and I'll be posting another video very soon. Okay? Thank you.